Fine research. Differences fall into one of two categories: differences in kind and differences in degree. Differences in kind occur when two or more groups do different things associated with their groups. For example, football players play football and cheerleaders lead the crowd in cheers. The two groups, football players and cheerleaders, are fundamentally different and exhibit different behaviors. Although it may be entertaining to some, we really do not want to see a 90-pound cheerleader being tackled by a 350-pound defensive lineman, nor would we want to see the 350-pound lineman trying to execute a flip or toe touch. Although differences in kind are interesting, differences of kind generally are not overly studied often in human communication. Instead, we are interested in differences of degree, or when two groups have differing degrees on a variable that they both display. For example, perhaps we wanted to determine if females and males differed in their levels of smiling. We could watch a group of females and males and count the number of times each group smiles during an interaction. After counting the number of times each group smiles, the researcher could then perform statistical tests that would allow the researcher to determine whether one group smiles more than the other group. On the easel, we have two curves representing the average number of times the group of males smiled and the average number of times the group of females smiled. The curve to the left represents the average number of times a male smiled during an interaction, and the curve to the right represents the average number of times a female smiled during an interaction. Although eyeballing the two curves may make it appear that females smile more, researchers cannot use the eyeballing technique, which is for researchers use statistics to determine if the two groups are really different. In the next three chapters, Chapter 16, Chapter 17, and Chapter 18, we are going to be introduced to three difference tests.